The government finally moving towards a system of phasing out Hajj subsidies that run into nearly 450 crore. It's a Times Now exclusive that's coming up for you. In fact, we are bringing to you the details of the entire report. A major rethink of the Hajj subsidy is underway. Times Now has accessed the report, and this report, ladies and gentlemen, in my hand has been submitted by a panel headed by a retired IAS officer, Afzal Amanullah. As per the report, the major reforms have been proposed in Hajj policy with the intention to massively cut the huge subsidy bill, which currently stands at nearly 500 crores.
Well, absolutely, Navika. Even though it's this government that's putting it in place, we can say with all certainty that this is a reform coming in from within the community itself, not just the Supreme Court Justice who actually gave this order, but also the entire panel that was put in place earlier this year to look at this very contentious issue. Now, right from this year, the proposal is to increase the fees to 50,000 per head, an increase of 5,000 from last year's 45,000. So really the subsidy burden on the government would come down to that extent. Also significantly, as you rightly mentioned, 9 ports of embarkation. These are Delhi, Lucknow, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bengaluru and Cochin. These are the only proposed ports of embarkation where in fact the Hajj would actually take off from, and that's where, you know, the kind of costs, the kind of expenses that governments do occur would in fact come down drastically as far as this is concerned. Also, of course, in terms of the actual Hajj house facilities, in terms of the various other states and UTs where in fact this takes place, all of that would be discontinued. It is also going to be looked at very closely in terms of using empty commercial flights, because currently it is flights that drop pilgrims over there and come back empty. So using all those empty commercial opportunities as well to try and reduce the cost burden, all of these are part of this. In fact, there is also a proposal to use ships perhaps with more than 4,000 capacity, which could be there. But perhaps one of the most important aspects of this, Navika, is that women above the age of 45 required a male escort, a close family relative. But really, of course, now with this new policy in place, it proposes that the government will not in fact put any such conditions on women above the age of 45 who want to travel. They can travel in a group of 4. They do not necessarily have to have any male family member as an escort, as was earlier required. So it is wide-ranging. The government hopes that this particular report will be submitted in Supreme Court, and with the Supreme Court's approval will be able to put this in place so that by the year 2022, as has been already decided, there will be absolutely no subsidy on Hajj. In fact, what the government proposes is that all of this amount, which runs into hundreds if not thousands of crores, will be put into various sectors such as education, which will help in fact the Muslim community in various other such developmental schemes and activities. So all of that remains to be seen in terms of how this money that is now being saved will be really used in terms of development. Of course, it's a contentious issue. There are certain voices of discontent that are already brewing, saying that these are aspects which they believe at least do curtail on their religious freedom. But ultimately, the government has to say that it's only following what the Apex Court has already ordered during a previous regime in 2012, and it's this government that has shown the will to actually implement this and bring in new reform measures which will in fact benefit the society at large.